The human brain is the most advanced data recorder in the known universe. But even the best systems have a critical error threshold. Most memories are archived, stored away in the basement of your mind to be accessed only when you choose. But there is one type of file that refuses to be archived. It stays open, it stays live. It consumes every bit of your processing power until the system crashes. The world calls it PTSD. I call it the infinite loop. Tonight, we're going to look at the data corruption of trauma. To understand PTSD, you have to understand how the save function works. Normally, when you experience something, your hippocampus, the librarian of your brain, takes that data, gives it a timestamp, and puts it in long-term storage. But during a traumatic event, the system alarm, the amygdala, takes over. The stress hormones are so high that the librarian runs away. The memory is never saved as a past event. Instead, it remains as raw, unprocessed data because it has no timestamp. Your brain thinks the event is still happening right now. You aren't remembering the past. You are re-rendering it in real time. Once this corruption occurs, your brain enters a state of permanent overclocking. Your threat detection system becomes hypersensitive. In the simulation, we call this a false positive. A car backfiring isn't just a nose to a corrupted system. It's a gunshot. A crowded room isn't just a social event. It's a high-risk breach. Your brain is constantly scanning for the glitch that hurt it before. This burns through your glucose and oxygen reserves. This is why people with PTSD feel exhausted even when they've done nothing. Their internal firewall is fighting a war against a ghost 24 hours a day. Flashbacks are the most terrifying system glitch. It's the intrusive process that hijacks your visual and auditory sensors. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that knows you are safe in your room, gets shut down. The emotional centers take full control. For those few minutes, the simulation you call today vanishes, and the old code of the trauma takes over your entire reality. You are literally a prisoner of a buffer that refuses to clear. This isn't just in your head. Chronic PTSD causes physical hardware erosion. High levels of cortisol literally shrink the hippocampus over time. The librarian dies, making it even harder to process new memories. The vagus nerve, the cable that connects your brain to your heart and gut, becomes frayed. The body starts to manifest the code error as physical pain, autoimmune issues, and digestive failure. As the saying goes, the body keeps the score. If the mind can't delete the file, the body will eventually try to format itself. Can a corrupted file be repaired? The science of neuroplasticity says yes. That you can't fix a logic error with more logic. You can't talk your way out of a biological loop. You have to update the drivers. Techniques like EMDRI, movement desensitization, and reprocessing work by forcing the brain to resave the traumatic data while the body is in a relaxed state. You are essentially patching the code. You are giving the memory the timestamp it never got, so it can finally be moved to the archive where it belongs. Experience. It is the scar tissue of the soul, but you don't have to live in a loop forever. The simulation is vast, and your current version is not your final one. If you're stuck in a what if or a back then, remember, the librarian is waiting for you to come home and help archive the files. Close the loop. Follow to rebuild your system. Stay awake. PTSD doesn't just change your past. It rewrites your navigation software. The brain starts to build walls around anything that might trigger the corrupted file. Don't go to that street. Don't listen to that song. Don't talk to that type of person. In the simulation, this is called search area restriction. The problem is, the more you avoid, the more the walls close in. Eventually, your playable map becomes so small that you are a prisoner in your own home. Your brain thinks it's protecting you, but it's actually deleting your life to save your hardware. Have you ever wondered why trauma survivors go offline for weeks? It's called hypervigilance fatigue. When your threat detection is always at 100%, you are burning through your social RAM. A simple conversation feels like a high-stakes negotiation. A crowded room feels like a DDoS attack on your senses. The system eventually initiates a forced sleep mode. You withdraw, you go numb, and you isolate. It's not that you don't love people, it's that your system can't afford the energy cost of interaction anymore. There is a deeper level of corruption called moral injury. This happens when the trauma wasn't just something that happened to you, but something that violated your core source code. Maybe you saw something you shouldn't have. Maybe you had to do something that goes against your moral algorithm. This creates a cognitive dissonance glitch. The brain cannot reconcile who I thought I was with what actually happened. This leads to self-deletion behaviors, shame, guilt, and the feeling that you are a virus in the system. Healing this requires more than just memory processing. It requires a total system rebrand.